platinum miner Lonmin. Happy Nkoma joins me now. Happy, thanks indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Let's just start with the situation on the ground. You've had some miners being bussed to Lonmin earlier this morning. Are they trickling in? Are they safe?
They are trickling in, and the fact that they made the decision and that they take the steps means they see that there's an element of safety. One must say that despite all the tension and despite all the, late last night there was all kinds of movements of people up and down, marches, and some blocking the roads and so forth. There has been no reported incident of violence as we'd seen over the weekend where people were hurt or something. We know that the union is addressing its members at the moment, and we pray that also when that is done, they will peacefully continue with their protest, which we are in no way trying to stop or trying to interfere with. But again, I know that the union will just come out now and say there's people supporting the strike. There's probably 4,000 or 5,000 people in the stadium. We employ 28,000 people. So the numbers are still not convincing. I
want to talk about that in a second. Let's move to the SMS campaign. Now, we've seen some residents, some miners, including the Bopo community chief, saying that the SMS was simply serves to incite more violence, incite more discord. Just put the SMS campaign into context for us. What's the main strategy behind that?
The main strategy behind the SMS is to reach to our employee. Do remember that at the end of the day, the union is not our employee. The union is a representative of the employee, nominated by the employees to speak on their behalf. It is still our responsibility to speak to the employee. The offer we are making and the increase we're discussing with the employee. So we felt that because of the length of the strike, a lot of the workers have dispersed. We are talking about over 24,000 people that are on strike. They're difficult to reach in any particular way. We have a database with their cell phone numbers, and they are our employees after all. And we felt therefore it is our prerogative and our right as an employer to actually get in touch with them, because we've got individual contracts with them, and inform them of the offer that we've put on the table. In no ways did we say they must jump over the union or do anything against the union. We just wanted them to access information.
Yeah, I suppose that will be part and parcel of a new strategy moving forward. We just heard the Amcu leader saying that the strike will continue. They will not be deterred by what he called campaigns. So from a Lonmin perspective and from the perspective of the platinum mining companies, where do we move to from here?
For us, it's actually a question of how many or what bigger size of the people who say we want to come to work are a component of our workforce. At the end of the day, they said they want to come to work. We're giving them the opportunity to do so. We also want to work. The other workers want to strike. All those rights are secured in the Bill of Rights. They're secured by the Minerals Act. The only problem is that the striking workers now impose their own right to those that want to come to work. As you can see, even though they are saying they're not intimidating them, they're dancing in front of our gates with topkiris and weapons that are menacing. That is intimidation. And that's the unfortunate side of it. Now, those that are striking, they are protected. We're not going to fire them for striking. We're not going to act against them for striking. The only thing is we want to continue with business, because this is about business at the end of the day.
You suggest to me that perhaps you might see the numbers swelling. I talk about the numbers returning to work in the next few days, if not weeks.
Yes, that's what we're expecting, because the high numbers of people who have indicated to us that they want to come to work.
I want to talk about negotiations with Labour over the past few decades. This has certainly been very, very different compared to your previous Labour negotiations. One cannot help but ask, did the companies such as Lonmin anticipate this type of a deadlock when it referenced how it spoke to mine workers in the past?
Well, yes and no, in the sense that, deadlock, even as I sit here, we still are expecting to negotiate with Amcu. We're still expecting to talk to them about the offer that we've put on the table. Their demand, even when they talk of 4 years to achieve 12,500 as a basic salary, which actually talks of a gross salary of 19,800 for the lowest employed worker, it's not affordable. We're talking of an increase of minimum of 7,000 rand or 2,800 a year for the next 4 years. It is not affordable.
Is it worthy to bring the CCMA back on board?
Well, the CCMA will be part of it. The labor issues are handled that way. At the end of the day, even when we decided to strike, when we actually deadlocked, remember, negotiations started in our boardrooms and we couldn't reach an agreement with the union. We then went to the CCMA as the law states. So the negotiation is still at the CCMA. We talk to each other bilaterally, we inform each other, but the CCMA is still the one that is actually driving the talks. So we're expecting to go back there and relook at what we're saying. We're saying we can give the lowest paid employee 12,500 gross income, the lowest employee, by next year actually at Lonmin, 2017 for the other mines. So that is what we are putting on the table.
One final question. I know there's some sort of reluctance to give us exact numbers of how many workers indeed are returning to work. But Happy, what happens if those numbers just don't meet your desired amount of people coming to work in, let's say, a week's time? Does that not tell you this is really heading for a deeper deadlock? What do you do as a company?
Well, the workers not coming to work to us don't mean a deadlock. At the moment, workers not being able to come to work means horrible intimidation. We are talking about workers' rights. We are talking about workers going on strike. The next thing we must talk about security in a democratic state, 20 years after democracy. What do we say about our Bill of Rights? Actually, the unions are just treading all over it. Other people are just trampling over other people's rights, and we accept it as normal. That is not normal. That is not right. We're actually saying the ones who infringe other people's rights must get away with it. And that's actually the issue. And that's actually what we should be talking about.
Happy Nkoma from Lonmin, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you.